introduce Vincent Bauchau. Vincent is working for GSK, and he's the head of the Vaccine Safety Research Group at GSK Biologicals. So, Vincent, if you want to go ahead.
Good afternoon. I cannot really see you because of the light that is needed for the video, but I hope you can hear me. Today, we are going to speak about vaccines. My name is Vincent Bauchau, as Martin said. I have, of course, this is a proposal coming from a number of vaccine manufacturers in the room. I have colleagues from Novartis Vaccine, Sanofi Pasteur, and SPMSD. Vaccines are one of the most effective preventive methods for public health. Here you see the incidence of measles in the US. This is just one example of the effectiveness of vaccine into reducing some diseases. Please note that this is a log scale, so in the end, that disease had almost completely disappeared from the US after a number of vaccination campaign. Please also note that the way of implementing the vaccine has been changed over time to improve the effectiveness of this program. And also note that this is an observation about 50 years, so it takes sometimes to really see the effectiveness and the impact of a vaccine. This is now more recent data on the incidence of measles in the UK over the last maybe 10 years or so. And what you see is that the disease is actually coming back in the UK. You have the number of cases every year. And this is largely because the coverage for these vaccines, the MMR vaccines, has recently decreased. And the reason it has decreased is because the public had started to fear the vaccination because it has been supposedly associated with the incidence or an increased incidence of autism. Now, many studies have been performed on the association between MMR and autism, and they all demonstrated that there was no connection to the vaccination, but it was enough to for the public to distrust the vaccination to the point that the vaccine coverage would go down and the disease would come back, in this case in the UK. So this is basically to illustrate the issue here. The issue is to be able to demonstrate the benefit risk of the vaccine, or any vaccine. And for this, you need data or information or expertise from different sources. You need, on top, you can see the burden of disease. This is the information on the disease which will be prevented by the vaccine. That's largely the benefit, but you don't need only to know about the disease. You need to know how effective is your vaccine in protecting the vaccinees against the disease. This is the vaccine effectiveness on the left side. Then, of course, you need also to know how your vaccine is used in the population. This is vaccination coverage, and in Europe we still don't know very well about how the vaccines are actually used in the different populations. And on the bottom you have the vaccine safety. That's all the information you need to do your proper benefit risk assessment. Especially for new vaccines, the information about safety, or at least signals of safety issues, may come very, very rapidly. As soon as a new vaccine is launched, sometimes within days there are suspicions of some association with an adverse event. Most of the time this will end up with being proven as being not associated with the vaccine, but it's enough to make the public uneasy about vaccination. The other part of the equation, the benefit, here I'm speaking about the post-marketing benefit and risk. The actual vaccine effectiveness takes more time to be established through studies. And this is another challenge that we see in Europe for vaccination right now. So that's basically why we need a public-private collaboration. The aim of this goal is to develop an integrated, rapid system to maintain or restore public trust as fast as possible, to demonstrate or to reconfirm the benefit risk of vaccines. As I said, it's only possible if you have all the stakeholders that you could see in the slides before, or linked to the information that you had seen in the slides before. You have the regulatory agencies who are making the decisions, ultimate decisions. The Public Health Institute, who mostly have the data on the disease and linked to that vaccine effectiveness. Of course, the vaccine manufacturers, everybody working in safety. So there's a lot of stakeholders. And the challenges are both on the technical side and the governance side. On the technical side, because of the diversity, we are talking about different data sources, and it's not always easy, especially in Europe compared maybe to the US, to aggregate all the data sources that you need, because you have different countries, and also you need safety, effectiveness, and disease data. Because we would like to have an integrated benefit risk assessment, and we would like this to be as fast as possible, there's also challenges to develop appropriate methodology for that, analytical or statistical methods. And then the challenges more on the governance side is that for the moment there's not enough coordination within Europe, and there's some overlap. There's a number of ongoing projects, and to get all the stakeholders working together, we need a set of transparent governance rules. All of this will be part of the project, and all of this can only be done through a public-private collaboration. So coming to the objective of the project, on the right side, you see what we will try to achieve in the end. In the end, we want to have a system which will go into production, or we could say operation, which is the system where for every vaccine, we could rapidly assess the benefit and the risk once the vaccine is on the market. This will need to have its own sustainable infrastructure, including its own governance system and funding system. The IMI project that I'm presenting today is on the left side, is actually the research and development to obtain or to build or develop this ultimate system. This is foreseen for 5 years. We want to see proof of concept studies. Please note that the proof of concept studies are not starting immediately as the project will start, but still the idea is to have the proof of concept studies starting as soon as possible, and you will see why in the work packages this is needed, because all the work packages will feed each other. And then the next step, which is outside of this IMI project, but it's clearly the long-term vision, will start again as soon as possible. And here we imagine some overlap, but of course it's very difficult to tell upfront how that will be. So, to summarize what I said, there is a long-term vision, which is an efficient and sustainable infrastructure for rapid and integrated post-licensure monitoring of vaccines under clear governance rules, meeting the common interest of all main stakeholders. And the aim of this particular call is to deliver the necessary steps to prepare for the implementation of this sustainable system.